All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are working on homework number 3, FDP practice. Now, we have learned how to take all of these pieces and make sure we get from one to the other to the other. We've also taken them piece by piece. What's going to help you the most here is your fraction, decimal, and percent practice paper. I'm going to leave this here for a second so that you can pause if you need to refer back to it. This is going to help you the most because you can remember that we are moving around the triangle on the outside and then back on the inside. So I'm going to leave this here for a second if you want to pause and watch and make sure you can check back on that. Now, when we're looking at this, when you're given a decimal, you can find the percent first or you can find the fraction first. Remember, finding the fraction means that your place value is your denominator and the number behind the decimal is your numerator. So here we have 3 4/10. So first of all, you already know this has to be a mixed number. Make sure that you understand what a mixed number is. If you need to Google it, you can. But remember, mixed number means that you're going to have a whole number and then the fraction. Please make sure that your fractions are in simplest form. So you might need to simplify some things to make sure you create an equivalent fraction that is at its smallest numbers, its smallest factors. All right, now looking at our percents, to go from a decimal to a percent, divide by 100. To go from a percent to a decimal, percent to decimal, divide by 100. Decimal to percent means multiply by 100. Make sure you are looking at this and checking which way it moves. We want to make sure that we understand a decimal is going to look smaller than a percent. They are equivalent, but you're going to have that decimal in front of it, and so it's going to be what we would think is a smaller number. A percent should be out of 100. All right. Percent to fraction, we're going to place that percent as our numerator over 100. If you need to look a little closer, we have it written here. Percent over 100, and then simplify. If you're going from a fraction to a percent, scale. Now, we talked about scaling yesterday. That's when we looked at that 10 by 10 grid and we wanted to make sure the denominator is 100. So you might need to multiply your denominator in order to get there. So if I told you, for example, that you have a fraction of 1 over 2, make sure this shows, 1 over 2. Now, my denominator is not 100. So I want to make sure my denominator becomes 100, and I need to find what can I multiply 2 by to get to 100. Well, I know 2 times 50 is 100. And whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. So 1 times 50 is 50. So an equivalent fraction to 1/2 would be 50 out of 100. And so my percentage would be my numerator. So the percent that is equivalent to 1/2 is 50%. Please make sure you write your percentage signs so that I know that you're saying 50%. All right, I think you guys got it from here. I have given you some hints, and be very careful. Hey, hint number, whatever number it is, 1/3. We talked about this. We talked about what it should be and maybe memorizing it from our practice. But if you're going to forget, that's okay. We're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. All right, guys, good luck.